Have you ever thought about how power of silence can bring profound transformation to your life? In a world filled with constant noise, taking time for silence allows you to reconnect with your true self. Silence provides clarity, insight, and emotional balance, enabling you to make more intentional decisions and build deeper connections. It's not about withdrawing from life, but about engaging with it more deeply, allowing space for creativity, wisdom, and inner peace to emerge naturally. When practiced regularly, silence becomes a powerful tool for personal growth and emotional resilience. Turning inward and setting aside time to quiet the mind is not merely an act of self-discipline, but a profound step towards self-awareness and inner clarity. In the chaos of daily life, filled with endless responsibilities, social expectations, and digital distractions, it is easy to lose connection with our inner world. Modern living has conditioned us to seek stimulation constantly, making silence feel foreign or even uncomfortable. Yet, it is within the stillness that we discover the most authentic parts of ourselves, the thoughts that are buried beneath the noise of routine obligations and external pressures. Stillness offers a doorway to greater self-understanding, a space where we can tune in to our deepest emotions and recognize what truly drives us. Imagine a person waking up each morning and immediately checking their phone, answering emails, and engaging with the noise of the external world before even acknowledging their own thoughts. Over time, this habit drowns out their inner voice, making it difficult to discern what they truly want or need. In contrast, someone who dedicates even a few minutes to stillness, whether through mindful breathing, a quiet cup of tea, or a moment of reflection, gives themselves the chance to process emotions, set intentions, and reconnect with their values. This simple shift in behavior can lead to profound changes in perspective, reducing stress and enhancing emotional clarity. There is a reason why so many spiritual traditions emphasize the power of solitude and contemplation. Throughout history, figures such as Buddha, Thoreau, and countless poets and philosophers have sought wisdom through retreating into nature or practicing extended periods of silence. They understood that in the absence of distractions, the mind gains the clarity necessary to recognize deeper truths. Consider the way a writer struggling with a creative block often finds inspiration not by forcing ideas, but by stepping away, perhaps taking a walk or sitting quietly by a window. The same principle applies to personal growth. When we allow ourselves the luxury of stillness, we create the conditions for insight to arise naturally. The modern world often equates productivity with constant action. Yet some of the most profound breakthroughs, whether in science, art, or personal growth, occur in moments of stillness. A scientist deep in thought, staring out a window, may seem idle to an observer, but in reality, their mind is synthesizing complex ideas in a way that structured problem solving cannot achieve. Similarly, someone navigating a difficult personal decision may find that clarity comes not from overanalyzing the situation, but from stepping away, allowing the mind to settle and present the answer naturally. When we become comfortable with silence, we learn that it is not an empty void, but a space of immense potential where the subconscious mind weaves together thoughts and experiences into new understandings. Stillness does not distance us from reality. Rather, it strengthens our ability to engage with life consciously. In a world of constant noise, people often make rushed decisions driven by fear or external pressures. However, those who cultivate inner silence gain the clarity to pause, assess, and respond with intention rather than impulse. By listening deeply to themselves and to others, they create space for wiser, more meaningful choices. This practice fosters emotional intelligence as individuals become more attuned to their own emotions and those of others. Relationships improve when one learns to pause and reflect before speaking, and life itself becomes richer when experienced with mindful awareness. The process of embracing stillness is not an overnight transformation, but a journey that requires patience and commitment. Just as physical fitness is developed through regular exercise, mental stillness is cultivated through consistent practice. At first, the silence may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling, as the mind resists the unfamiliar state of inactivity. However, with time, stillness becomes a refuge, a place where clarity, creativity, and emotional stability flourish. The key is to approach it not with the expectation of immediate results, but with the understanding that every moment spent in quiet contemplation strengthens our ability to navigate life with greater wisdom and inner peace. Cultivating inner stillness requires intentional effort, a commitment to carving out spaces and practices that allow the mind to quiet itself. In a world where constant activity and stimulation are the norm, the ability to create moments of true tranquility is both a skill and an art. It begins with acknowledging the importance of environment, the way physical space influences mental clarity. A cluttered, noisy setting often mirrors the restless state of the mind, making it difficult to access deeper levels of thought and reflection. On the other hand, a serene and organized space can facilitate the mental shift necessary for stillness to emerge naturally. A peaceful physical environment is not about luxury, but about intention. Consider the difference between an individual who attempts meditation in a chaotic living space filled with distractions versus one who intentionally designs a corner of their home as a sanctuary for quiet reflection. A dedicated space, however small, signals to the mind that this is a place for stillness. Soft lighting, natural elements such as plants, and minimalistic design contribute to an atmosphere of calm. Some find that a view of nature, a simple garden, a flowing river, or even an open sky enhances the ability to turn inward. This deliberate shaping of external surroundings reinforces the internal journey toward quietude. Breathing exercises serve as an anchor, a bridge between the conscious and unconscious mind. The simple act of deep rhythmic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and enhancing mental clarity. Picture an individual facing a stressful situation, their breath becoming shallow and rapid, signaling to the body that danger is present. by intentionally slowing the breath, inhaling deeply through the nose, holding momentarily, and exhaling slowly, the entire nervous system responds with a sense of relief. This controlled breathing allows the mind to settle, creating a moment of pause amidst external chaos. Many traditions incorporate structured breathing techniques such as pranayama in yoga, where controlled breath work is used to deepen meditation and heighten self-awareness. Meditation is a practice that deepens the process of cultivating inner stillness, training the mind to observe without judgment, to exist in the present moment rather than being pulled in multiple directions. For someone new to meditation, the experience may initially feel foreign, even frustrating. The mind naturally resists stillness, wandering into thoughts of past regrets or future worries. However, with consistent practice, meditation transforms into a powerful tool for self-awareness and clarity. The ability to sit in silence and witness the thoughts that arise without engaging in them fosters a profound shift in perception. It allows an individual to detach from the noise of the external world and recognize that stillness is not about the absence of thought, but about the ability to observe without attachment. Some individuals may find guided meditation helpful, allowing a calming voice to lead them through visualization techniques that reinforce inner peace. Others prefer silent meditation, where the focus remains solely on the breath or the gentle rhythm of the body. Both approaches nurture the ability to detach from external noise and cultivate a deep inner awareness. The most profound aspect of meditation is its ability to create a sense of spaciousness within the mind, allowing thoughts to pass without the need to grasp or analyze them. This mental spaciousness translates into daily life, where the ability to remain present and composed becomes second nature. Stillness is not a passive state, but an active engagement with the self. Creating a peaceful environment, practicing breathing techniques, and engaging in meditation are not isolated habits, but interconnected pathways leading to the same destination, a mind that is calm, clear, and receptive. The journey to inner stillness is deeply personal, and each individual must find the combination of techniques that resonate with them. What remains universal is the need to prioritize these moments, to recognize that silence is not empty, but full of potential. In learning to cultivate stillness, one does not retreat from life, but engages with it more meaningfully. Equipped with the clarity and resilience that only quiet introspection can provide, embracing silence is a journey that at first can feel foreign and even unsettling. The modern world conditions us to be in a constant state of engagement, where every moment is filled with sound, motion, and digital interactions. Silence, by contrast, can feel unnatural, as if something is missing. Many people experience discomfort when attempting to sit in stillness for the first time, their minds racing with thoughts, anxieties, and an urgent need to do something. This resistance is not a personal failure, but rather a reflection of habitual conditioning. Just as the body resists new forms of physical activity before adapting, the mind initially resists silence before recognizing its benefits. Consider an individual who has spent years living in a fast-paced environment, constantly surrounded by the hum of city life, social obligations, and digital distractions. When they attempt to sit in silence, they may find their mind restless, seeking stimulation in any form. They might reach for their phone out of habit or feel an overwhelming sense of unease. This reaction is a natural response to years of conditioning, where external noise has become a comfort, a way to avoid deeper thoughts and emotions. The stillness exposes layers of internal dialogue that had previously been drowned out by external distractions. However, this discomfort is an indication of growth, a necessary step toward understanding oneself on a deeper level. The key to overcoming this resistance lies in patience and self-compassion. Silence is not an empty void, but a space of discovery, yet it takes time to learn how to navigate it. Just as a person unaccustomed to physical exercise finds it challenging at first, the mind also requires training to become comfortable with stillness. Rather than expecting immediate peace, it is important to acknowledge that discomfort is part of the process. One approach is to start small, perhaps a few minutes of silence each day before gradually extending the duration. Setting realistic expectations helps ease the transition, allowing the mind to adjust naturally. With time, the periods of stillness no longer feel like an unnatural pause, but rather a necessary space for clarity and renewal. For example, someone new to meditation might initially struggle with intrusive thoughts, feeling frustrated that they cannot quiet their mind. However, through repeated practice, they come to realize that the goal is not to suppress thoughts, but to observe them without attachment. With time, the moments of silence become less intimidating, transforming into a space where clarity and calmness emerge. Much like water that appears cloudy when disturbed but settles into clarity when left still, the mind, too, finds peace when given the opportunity to rest. The realization that thoughts will come and go without the need for reaction or judgment makes silence feel less like an empty void and more like a source of insight and inner balance. There are cultural and psychological factors that contribute to resistance to silence. In many societies, productivity and efficiency are valued above rest, leading individuals to associate stillness with laziness or wasted time. This mindset creates an internal conflict where silence is seen as unproductive. Yet, history and science show that some of the greatest insights, creative breakthroughs, and emotional healing occur when the mind is given space to wander freely. Many renowned thinkers and artists, such as Albert Einstein and Leonardo da Vinci, credited periods of quiet reflection as essential to their creative processes. By stepping away from external noise, the mind is able to make unexpected connections, leading to profound discoveries. Fear of silence often stems from the realization that it brings us face to face with our true thoughts and emotions. Without the distractions of daily life, unresolved fears, doubts, or memories can surface, making silence feel overwhelming. This is where self-compassion becomes crucial. Rather than viewing these moments as something to escape from, they can be reframed as opportunities for self-awareness and growth. A person struggling with anxiety, for instance, may find that sitting in silence makes their worries feel louder at first. However, as they learn to breathe through the discomfort and allow thoughts to pass without judgment, they begin to build emotional resilience. Instead of being controlled by anxious thoughts, they develop the ability to acknowledge them while remaining grounded in the present moment. Gradually, as the individual practices silence, they begin to experience its benefits. The mind becomes less reactive, emotions are processed with greater ease, and an inner sense of calm starts to develop. Silence shifts from being an uncomfortable emptiness to a powerful tool for self-discovery. The once dreaded moments of stillness become something to look forward to, a sanctuary from the overwhelming demands of daily life. Over time, they may notice improvements in their ability to focus, respond to stress with greater patience, and connect more deeply with themselves and others. Silence no longer represents isolation, but instead serves as a bridge to deeper understanding and emotional balance. Like a muscle strengthened through exercise, stillness becomes second nature with consistent practice. At first, silence may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. Yet over time, it transforms into a powerful tool, deepening relationships through active listening, infusing work with newfound clarity, and enriching life with a profound sense of purpose. The process of overcoming resistance to silence is not about forcing stillness, but about gradually allowing it to become an integral part of daily life. It is about learning to trust that silence is not a void to be feared, but a space to be embraced, offering wisdom, clarity, and a profound connection to oneself. True transformation happens when stillness is no longer feared but welcomed. The mind, once accustomed to constant motion, learns that it does not need to be entertained or occupied every moment. Silence becomes a teacher, revealing insights, strengthening resilience, and deepening self-awareness. By embracing the discomfort of silence and moving through it with patience, individuals unlock an inner sanctuary that brings clarity, peace, and a renewed sense of connection with themselves and the world around them. Inner stillness serves as a gateway to profound self-reflection, offering individuals a deeper understanding of their values, aspirations, and emotional needs. In the fast-paced nature of modern life, many people move from one task to another without pausing to assess whether their actions align with their true desires. Without moments of stillness, it is easy to drift through life, reacting to external pressures rather than consciously shaping one's path. However, when an individual creates space for inner silence, they gain the opportunity to examine their thoughts, question their motivations, and recognize patterns in their emotional responses. This process leads to a more authentic existence, where choices are guided by personal truth rather than external expectations. Imagine a person who has spent years climbing the corporate ladder, believing that success is measured solely by job titles and financial security. They work tirelessly, achieving professional milestones, yet they feel an unshakable sense of dissatisfaction. Without pausing for self-reflection, they might continue on this path, unaware that their definition of success has been shaped more by societal standards than by their own values. However, through intentional moments of silence, perhaps through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in solitude, they begin to explore the deeper reasons behind their ambitions. They may realize that their true fulfillment lies not in status, but in meaningful work, creative expression, or time spent with loved ones. This clarity, gained through stillness, empowers them to make life choices that align with their inner truth rather than blindly following external expectations. Self-reflection through silence reveals hidden emotional patterns, offering deeper insight into how we react to different situations. Imagine a person who often feels uneasy in social settings, interpreting silence as a sign of disapproval. Without awareness, they may blame their discomfort on external factors. However, stillness teaches them to observe their reactions without judgment, uncovering a deeper truth. Perhaps their unease stems from an internal fear rather than the reality of the moment. By acknowledging this, they can begin to shift their mindset, learning to embrace silence in conversations rather than seeing it as a sign of failure. This deeper emotional awareness allows them to approach social interactions with confidence and authenticity rather than with fear and self-doubt. Another profound benefit of inner stillness is the ability to let go of external validation. From an early age, people are conditioned to seek approval, whether from parents, teachers, peers, or society at large. Praise and recognition often become measures of self-worth, leading individuals to base their decisions on what will be accepted or admired rather than on what truly resonates with them. This reliance on external validation creates a fragile sense of self, one that is easily shaken when approval is withheld or criticism is received. Inner stillness offers an antidote to this dependency by teaching individuals to trust their own judgment and cultivate self-acceptance. Consider an artist who hesitates to share their work because they fear negative feedback. If they are accustomed to defining their worth based on the opinions of others, any form of critique may feel like a personal attack. However, if they practice inner stillness, they develop the ability to separate their identity from external approval. They learn to create not for validation, but for the intrinsic joy of self-expression. The act of sitting in silence, free from the noise of opinions, strengthens their sense of self. They begin to understand that their worth is not contingent on praise, but on the authenticity of their expression. This realization empowers them to share their work without fear, knowing that external opinions do not define their value. Letting go of external validation also transforms the way individuals approach relationships. Many people struggle with the need to please others, often suppressing their true thoughts or emotions to avoid conflict or rejection. However, this habit leads to resentment and a lack of genuine connection. When a person cultivates inner stillness, they develop the courage to express themselves honestly, even if it means facing disagreement. They become comfortable with setting boundaries and prioritizing their own well-being. This shift strengthens relationships rather than weakening them, as true connections are built on authenticity rather than on the fear of disapproval. Inner stillness fosters self-trust, allowing individuals to make decisions with confidence rather than hesitation. When people rely on external validation, they often second-guess themselves, constantly seeking reassurance before making choices. This leads to a cycle of doubt and indecision, preventing them from taking meaningful steps forward. However, when an individual practices silence, they learn to listen to their intuition. They begin to trust that their inner voice carries wisdom, that they do not need constant approval to validate their choices. This self-trust enables them to navigate life with clarity and conviction, free from the need for external permission. The ability to embrace inner stillness also transforms the way individuals perceive failure. In a world where success is often equated with recognition and achievement, failure can feel like a devastating blow to self-worth. However, those who cultivate inner stillness understand that setbacks do not define them. When faced with failure, they do not seek external reassurance, but instead turn inward, reflecting on what can be learned from the experience. This resilience allows them to move forward with confidence rather than being paralyzed by fear of judgment. Ultimately, the benefits of inner stillness extend far beyond personal growth. When individuals are no longer driven by the need for external validation, they contribute to the world in more meaningful ways. They make choices based on authenticity rather than conformity, inspiring others to do the same. They develop relationships that are rooted in sincerity rather than performance. They navigate challenges with emotional intelligence and resilience, knowing that their sense of self is not dependent on external factors. Inner stillness is not about withdrawing from the world, but about engaging with it from a place of strength and clarity. Through self-reflection, individuals gain a deeper understanding of who they are and what truly matters to them. By letting go of the need for external approval, they step into their power, no longer seeking validation, but instead embracing their own truth. This transformation leads to a life that is not dictated by the expectations of others, but shaped by an unshakable connection to oneself. Emotional balance is one of the most profound benefits of cultivating inner stillness. In a world where stress, uncertainty, and emotional turbulence are common, the ability to regulate emotions and respond with calmness is a transformative skill. Many people go through life reacting impulsively to challenges, allowing emotions to dictate their actions without fully understanding them. However, when an individual develops a habit of stillness, they create space between stimulus and response. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, they learn to observe them, process them, and respond with clarity. This shift allows for greater emotional resilience, reducing anxiety, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Imagine a person who faces a high-pressure work environment where deadlines, expectations, and competition create constant stress. Without emotional balance, they may react to difficult situations with frustration, snapping at colleagues, or making hasty decisions out of panic. Over time, these emotional reactions damage relationships and create a cycle of stress and regret. However, when this person adopts a practice of stillness, they begin to notice a change. Instead of immediately reacting to stressful situations, they take a breath, center themselves, and respond with thoughtfulness. This simple yet powerful shift transforms their ability to handle workplace challenges, allowing them to maintain composure and make decisions that are not clouded by momentary emotional turmoil. Emotional balance also plays a crucial role in personal relationships. Many conflicts arise not from external problems, but from the inability to regulate emotions. A minor disagreement can escalate into a major argument when emotions take control. However, someone who has trained their mind through stillness understands that emotions are temporary waves, not absolute truths. If a misunderstanding occurs with a loved one, they do not immediately lash out in anger or retreat in silence. Instead, they take a moment to reflect, recognizing their emotions without being consumed by them. This practice prevents unnecessary conflict, leading to healthier and more harmonious relationships. There is a deep connection between emotional balance and self-awareness. When a person cultivates inner stillness, they develop the ability to recognize the root causes of their emotions rather than just reacting to their surface expressions. For example, someone may feel irritated when a friend cancels plans at the last minute. Without self-awareness, they may assume their frustration is solely because of the cancellation. However, through moments of stillness, they may realize that their irritation stems from deeper insecurities, perhaps a fear of being unimportant or undervalued. By understanding this, they can address the real issue instead of allowing the situation to trigger unnecessary emotional distress. Emotional balance does not mean suppressing emotions, but rather approaching them with curiosity and self-compassion. The practice of inner stillness also enhances the ability to listen deeply to oneself and others. In today's fast-paced world, true listening is rare. Many conversations are filled with interruptions, distractions, or the urge to respond rather than genuinely understand. People often listen just enough to formulate their next argument rather than absorbing what is being said. This lack of deep listening weakens relationships, creating misunderstandings and emotional distance. However, when an individual cultivates stillness, they develop the patience and presence needed for meaningful communication. Consider a scenario where a friend is sharing a personal struggle. Someone who has not practiced deep listening may hear the words, but not the underlying emotions. They might respond with quick advice or compare the situation to their own experiences, unintentionally shifting the focus away from the person speaking. In contrast, a person who has developed inner stillness listens with full presence. They do not interrupt or rush to offer solutions. Instead, they allow silence to be a part of the conversation, giving the other person space to express themselves fully. This creates an atmosphere of trust, where the speaker feels truly heard and understood. Such moments deepen relationships as they foster emotional intimacy and mutual respect. Deep listening is not limited to external conversations. It also applies to self-awareness. Many people go through life without truly listening to themselves, suppressing emotions or ignoring inner signals. When faced with stress, they distract themselves rather than addressing the root cause. However, those who embrace stillness develop the ability to tune into their own needs and emotions. Instead of pushing away feelings of exhaustion, they recognize when they need rest. Instead of ignoring discomfort in certain situations, they listen to their inner guidance and make necessary changes. This self-attunement leads to a more fulfilling and balanced life, where decisions are made from a place of self-awareness rather than external pressure. The impact of deep listening extends beyond personal relationships and self-reflection. It also transforms professional interactions. In a work setting, leaders who practice deep listening build stronger teams and foster a culture of trust. When employees feel genuinely heard, they are more engaged, motivated, and open to collaboration. Similarly, professionals who listen deeply to clients or colleagues can respond more effectively to their needs, creating meaningful and productive interactions. In contrast, those who fail to listen often make assumptions, leading to miscommunication, errors, and missed opportunities. The ability to be fully present in a conversation is a rare but invaluable skill, one that enhances both personal and professional relationships. Practicing stillness allows individuals to develop not only emotional balance and deep listening, but also patience and empathy. In moments of silence, people learn to sit with their emotions rather than react impulsively. They develop the ability to hold space for others, understanding that communication is not just about responding, but about connecting. This shift creates stronger, more meaningful relationships where people feel valued and understood. It also reduces conflict as individuals become less reactive and more willing to approach conversations with an open mind. Over time, those who integrate stillness into their lives notice a transformation in the way they interact with the world. They no longer feel the need to constantly fill silence with words or distractions. They become comfortable with pausing, reflecting, and responding with intention rather than reacting impulsively. Their relationships grow stronger as they bring greater awareness and presence into the interactions. They experience fewer emotional outbursts and less regret over words spoken in frustration. Instead of being controlled by emotions, they learn to work with them, allowing feelings to arise and pass without being overwhelmed by them. Stillness is not about disconnecting from the world, but about engaging with it more deeply. Through emotional balance, individuals navigate life's challenges with greater ease, responding rather than reacting. Through deep listening, they cultivate relationships built on trust and understanding. As these skills develop, life becomes less about managing external chaos and more about fostering internal harmony. The ability to remain calm in the face of difficulty and to truly hear others is a gift that enhances every aspect of life. Those who embrace these practices find themselves not only more at peace within, but also more connected to the world around them. Silence serves as a gateway to both spiritual growth and creativity, offering individuals the space to explore their inner worlds, develop a sense of purpose, and unlock new ideas. In the absence of noise and external distractions, the mind gains the clarity needed to reflect on life's deeper questions, make meaningful connections, and engage in creative exploration. Many of history's greatest thinkers, artists, and spiritual leaders understood the power of stillness, retreating into solitude to cultivate wisdom and innovation. Whether through moments of meditation, contemplation, or simply allowing space for thought, silence creates an environment where growth and inspiration can flourish. Spiritual growth is often associated with a journey of self-discovery, a process of looking beyond daily distractions to find deeper meaning in life. Many individuals spend years searching for purpose, seeking answers in the external world through achievements, relationships, or material success. However, true understanding often arises not from external validation, but from within. When a person embraces silence, they create the opportunity to listen to their inner voice, to confront their deepest questions, and to develop a sense of connection with something greater than themselves. This process may take different forms. Some may find spiritual depth in meditation, others in prayer, nature, or simply moments of quiet reflection. Consider a person who has spent their life caught up in the fast-paced demands of work and social expectations, constantly moving from one goal to the next without pausing to ask what truly brings fulfillment. Over time, they begin to feel an unexplainable emptiness, a sense that something important is missing. In an attempt to fill this void, they seek more achievements, engage in distractions, or look for external sources of happiness. However, when they finally decide to step away from the noise, perhaps taking time alone in nature, sitting in stillness, or engaging in deep contemplation, they begin to uncover the answers they have been searching for. In silence, they recognize that fulfillment does not come from external success alone, but from alignment with their values, a deeper sense of connection, and the ability to be present in each moment. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have emphasized the importance of silence as a means of self-discovery. Ancient monks, philosophers, and mystics retreated into solitude to gain insight into the mysteries of existence, understanding that wisdom often emerges when the mind is quiet. The Buddha achieved enlightenment through meditation and stillness. Christian mystics sought God in silence, believing that the divine could be found not in words, but in the quiet spaces between them. Indigenous traditions across cultures have long practiced silent retreats in nature to connect with the spiritual world and seek guidance. These examples illustrate that silence is not an absence, but a presence, a space where deeper understanding can emerge. Creativity, much like spiritual growth, thrives in stillness. Many of the world's most celebrated artists, writers, and inventors have described moments of inspiration arising during periods of solitude and quiet reflection. When the mind is constantly engaged with distractions, it has little room to wander, to make unexpected connections, or to explore new ideas. However, in silence, thoughts are free to flow. Imagination expands, and the subconscious mind has the space to generate innovative concepts. A painter may struggle to create while surrounded by noise and chaos. But when given time in silence, inspiration strikes in unexpected ways. A writer who forces themselves to produce words under pressure may find their creativity blocked. Yet when they allow themselves to sit in stillness, new stories and ideas begin to emerge naturally. The creative process often requires stepping away from active problem solving and allowing space for new insights to arise. Many great thinkers, such as Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla, spoke of their most groundbreaking ideas coming to them, not during intense focus, but during moments of quiet reflection. Einstein famously described how his best ideas would emerge while he was alone, lost in thought, rather than actively trying to solve complex equations. This phenomenon is not limited to scientific discovery. Artists, musicians, and writers across disciplines have found that their most profound works arise when they step away from distractions and embrace stillness. One of the reasons silence fuels creativity is that it allows the mind to enter a state of deep focus and flow. When external noise is removed, individuals can fully immerse themselves in their creative pursuits without interruption. This level of focus is essential for producing meaningful work, as it enables deeper engagement with ideas and a greater ability to refine and develop them. A musician composing a new piece may find that in silence they hear melodies they had not noticed before. A sculptor shaping a new form may become more attuned to the subtle details of their work when they are not distracted by outside influences. Silence enhances perception, heightens awareness, and creates the conditions for true creative expression to flourish. In addition to fostering new ideas, silence also provides the space necessary for self-reflection within the creative process. Many creators experience periods of doubt, questioning whether their work is meaningful or if they are heading in the right direction. Without moments of stillness, these doubts can become overwhelming, leading to creative blocks and frustration. However, when an individual embraces silence, they give themselves the opportunity to step back, to evaluate their work with clarity, and to reconnect with their original inspiration. They begin to trust their creative instincts rather than seeking constant validation from others. This self-trust is what allows artists, writers, and innovators to break new ground and create work that is not only original, but deeply authentic. Beyond individual growth, both spiritual awareness and creativity contribute to a greater understanding of one's place in the world. Silence encourages individuals to consider the bigger picture, to reflect on their impact, and to recognize their role in something larger than themselves. It fosters a sense of connection, not only to one's own inner world, but also to the world at large. When people take the time to sit in stillness, they often experience a shift in perspective. They begin to notice the beauty in the simplicity of life, the depth in everyday experiences, and the interconnectedness of all things. This realization brings a sense of peace, as individuals no longer feel isolated in their struggles, but rather part of a greater whole. As people deepen their spiritual awareness and cultivate creativity, they naturally inspire those around them. A person who is in tune with their inner world is more present, more compassionate, and more attuned to the needs of others. Their creativity is not just a personal endeavor, but a way to contribute something meaningful to the world. Whether through art, writing, innovation, or acts of kindness, those who embrace silence often find themselves drawn toward purpose-driven work that extends beyond personal fulfillment. They create not just for themselves, but for the betterment of others, using their insights and talents to bring value to the world. Ultimately, the relationship between silence, spiritual growth, and creativity is one of profound transformation. In stillness, individuals uncover truths that might otherwise remain hidden beneath the noise of daily life. They gain clarity about their values, develop the confidence to pursue creative endeavors, and cultivate a sense of connection that brings both peace and purpose. Silence is not an absence of activity, but a space of infinite potential where the soul expands, the mind innovates, and life takes on new depth and meaning. Those who embrace it find themselves not only growing spiritually and creatively, but also living with greater authenticity, presence, and fulfillment. Making stillness a habit is not a one-time practice, but a lifelong journey that requires dedication, patience, and a willingness to cultivate mindfulness in everyday life. In a world that constantly demands attention and engagement, the idea of sustained stillness may seem difficult to achieve. However, those who commit to integrating moments of quiet into their daily routines soon realize that inner stillness is not something that happens spontaneously, but something that must be nurtured consistently. It is through repetition and intentional practice that stillness transforms from an occasional experience into a natural state of being, shaping the way individuals perceive and interact with the world around them. Many people initially approach inner stillness as an escape from stress, treating it as a temporary solution rather than a foundational way of living. For example, someone may turn to meditation or quiet reflection only during times of extreme anxiety or emotional distress, using stillness as a way to reset before returning to their usual patterns of distraction and busyness. While these moments provide relief, they do not lead to the deep, lasting benefits that come from making stillness a consistent part of life. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise to build strength and endurance, mental stillness requires regular practice to become a sustainable way of engaging with life's challenges. A person who exercises only once in a while will not experience the same transformation as someone who commits to a daily fitness routine. Similarly, those who integrate stillness into their daily lives develop a more profound sense of clarity, emotional balance, and inner peace than those who only seek it in moments of crisis. Building stillness as a habit begins with small intentional steps. Many people assume that they must dedicate long hours to meditation or solitude to cultivate inner stillness, but in reality, even brief moments of quiet can have a significant impact. Consider someone who starts their day by spending 5 minutes sitting in silence before checking their phone or engaging with the outside world. This simple practice allows them to center themselves, setting the tone for a day filled with greater awareness and presence. Over time, these small moments accumulate, creating a foundation for deeper stillness throughout the day. Another person may incorporate stillness into their routine by taking mindful walks without distractions, allowing themselves to fully experience their surroundings rather than being lost in thought or occupied by technology. These seemingly minor changes contribute to a shift in mindset, gradually making stillness a natural and effortless part of daily life. The process of making stillness a habit also involves recognizing and overcoming common obstacles. One of the greatest challenges people face is the belief that they do not have enough time for stillness. In a fast-paced society where productivity is often prioritized over well-being, it is easy to view silence as unproductive or unnecessary. However, those who consistently practice stillness understand that it does not take time away from life, but rather enhances it. When individuals engage in moments of quiet, they become more efficient, focused, and emotionally stable, allowing them to navigate their responsibilities with greater ease. A business executive who spends 10 minutes in meditation before work may find that they make clearer decisions throughout the day, avoiding the mental fatigue that comes from constant overthinking. A student who takes short breaks of stillness while studying may notice improved concentration and retention of information. Rather than being a distraction, stillness becomes a tool that supports productivity and well-being. Another challenge in maintaining stillness as a habit is the discomfort that often arises in silence. Many people avoid stillness because it forces them to confront thoughts and emotions they would rather ignore. When external distractions are removed, inner fears, doubts, and unresolved issues often come to the surface. This can be an unsettling experience, leading individuals to abandon their practice before experiencing its true benefits. However, those who persist begin to see that stillness is not about escaping from reality, but about fully embracing it. They learn to sit with their emotions, observing them without judgment, and allowing them to pass naturally. This process fosters emotional resilience, teaching individuals that they do not need to fear their thoughts, but rather understand and work with them. As stillness becomes a habit, individuals begin to notice profound changes in the way they experience life. They become more present in their interactions, listening more deeply, and responding with greater thoughtfulness. They develop a heightened awareness of their emotions, recognizing patterns of stress or anxiety before they escalate. Their ability to navigate challenges with clarity and composure increases as they are no longer reactive, but instead approach situations with a grounded perspective. Even in the busiest moments, they carry a sense of inner calm, knowing that stillness is always accessible, no matter the external circumstances. The transformation that comes from making stillness a habit is not limited to personal well-being. It also has a ripple effect on relationships and communities. When individuals cultivate inner stillness, they bring a sense of peace to those around them. A parent who practices stillness regularly is more patient and understanding with their children, creating a more nurturing environment. A teacher who embodies stillness in their daily life fosters a sense of calm and focus in their students. A leader who operates from a place of inner stillness makes decisions with wisdom and integrity, influencing those they work with in a positive way. By integrating stillness into daily life, individuals not only improve their own experiences, but also contribute to a more balanced and mindful society. Stillness, when practiced consistently, also deepens creativity and problem-solving abilities. Many great innovators, artists, and thinkers have described how their most profound insights emerge not during moments of intense effort, but during periods of quiet contemplation. When the mind is free from distractions, it is able to make unexpected connections and generate ideas that might not have surfaced in a busy or overstimulated state. A writer struggling with creative block may find inspiration after stepping away from their work and allowing their thoughts to settle. A scientist searching for a breakthrough may experience a moment of clarity while engaged in silent reflection. These moments of insight are not random. They arise because stillness creates the conditions for deep thinking and original ideas to emerge. Ultimately, making stillness a habit is about embracing a new way of being, one that prioritizes presence over distraction, awareness over reactivity, and depth over superficiality. It is a commitment to living with greater intention, recognizing that true fulfillment comes not from constant activity, but from the ability to be fully present in each moment. Those who cultivate stillness do not withdraw from life, rather they engage with it more deeply, seeing the beauty in simplicity and the wisdom in quiet reflection. Over time, stillness ceases to be something that individuals must consciously practice and instead becomes an integral part of who they are. It shapes the way they think, feel, and move through the world, offering a sense of stability and peace that remains unwavering, regardless of external circumstances. The journey toward making stillness a habit is ongoing, with no final destination, but rather continuous deepening and refinement. As individuals integrate moments of silence into their routines, they discover that stillness is not a luxury, but a necessity, a source of strength, clarity, and connection that enriches every aspect of life. It is through this consistent practice that stillness becomes not just an occasional refuge, but a way of living, allowing individuals to experience life with a renewed sense of purpose, creativity, and inner peace. Regular practice of stillness gradually integrates tranquility into daily life, allowing individuals to cultivate a more fulfilling and balanced existence. Unlike temporary relaxation, which offers only brief relief, a consistent stillness practice reshapes the way individuals engage with their thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. Through repetition, stillness becomes more than an occasional escape. It evolves into a natural state of presence, enabling greater clarity and resilience in everyday situations. When a person commits to regular moments of quiet, the effects extend beyond those brief periods of silence. Mornings begin with intention rather than urgency, as a few moments of stillness set a peaceful tone for the day. During stressful moments, Instead of reacting impulsively, they pause, breathe, and respond with awareness. Interactions with others shift as they listen more deeply and engage with greater patience. The transformation is subtle at first, but grows stronger with time, creating an inner steadiness that carries through challenges and uncertainties. Consider someone who often feels overwhelmed by deadlines and responsibilities. Initially, they view stillness as an occasional retreat, something to turn to only when exhaustion takes over. However, as they develop a habit of integrating moments of quiet into their daily routine, whether through meditation, mindful breathing, or silent reflection, they begin to notice a shift. Stressful situations no longer feel as consuming, and emotions become easier to manage. They navigate their tasks with greater focus and less anxiety, realizing that tranquility is not something external to be achieved, but an inner state to be cultivated. This transformation also enhances relationships. A person who carries inner peace naturally brings a calming presence to those around them. Conversations become more meaningful. Conflicts are handled with greater understanding, and moments of connection deepen. The ability to listen without rushing, to remain present without distraction, fosters stronger bonds. Over time, stillness ceases to be just a practice and instead becomes a way of being, allowing life itself to unfold with greater harmony and fulfillment. The journey of embracing inner stillness reaffirms the transformative power of silence. By making stillness a consistent practice, individuals unlock deeper self-awareness, allowing them to recognize their emotions, values, and inner truths with greater clarity. This heightened awareness fosters emotional resilience, enabling them to navigate life's challenges with calmness rather than reactivity. Beyond personal growth, stillness nurtures creativity by providing the mental space for new ideas to emerge, free from the distractions of constant stimulation. Whether in problem solving, artistic expression, or decision making, silence becomes a source of inspiration, allowing individuals to approach life with fresh perspectives. Stillness is not an escape from life, but an entryway into its deepest truths. As individuals integrate silence into their daily rhythms, they cultivate a profound sense of balance where clarity replaces chaos, presence replaces distraction, and wisdom shapes their path. In embracing stillness, they do not withdraw from the world, they step into it with renewed purpose, carrying the quiet strength that transforms both their inner and outer realities. In stillness, one does not withdraw from life, but instead engages with it more deeply, with greater wisdom, peace, and authenticity.